All right, get ready to dive deep into Google Cloud Platform. We're breaking down Roman Irani's Google Cloud Platform technology nuggets from March 1st to the 15th, 2025. Consider this deep dive your GCP upgrade, highlighting what's new and why it matters to you.
We'll cover everything from infrastructure updates to the crazy world of AI and ML, and we'll make it both fun and informative.
First up, let's talk regions. Google Cloud launched a new region in Sweden, making 42 globally and 12 in Europe. Now, you might be thinking, okay, another region, so what?
Yeah.
But it's a big deal, especially for those of you concerned about latency or data sovereignty or disaster recovery.
A new region means faster data access for anyone in that area. Plus, for those who need to keep their data within specific geographic boundaries, more regional options give you more flexibility to comply with regulations, and of course, there's redundancy.
Right, if one region goes down, having your applications and data available in another ensures business continuity. Now, let's talk AI and machine learning. Google's been busy, which is not surprising given how fast this field is evolving. One thing that always fascinates me is how data scientists figure out which AI model is best for a given task. It's not like they have a crystal ball.
Not quite, but they do have this method called pairwise model evaluation. It's basically a head-to-head comparison of AI models to see which performs better. Think of it like a tournament for AI models.
Like a battle royale for AI.
Yeah, exactly.
And to make things easier, Google Cloud offers the Vertex AI evaluation service and the LLM Comparator.
These tools simplify the process. Vertex AI handles the automated evaluations, measuring performance based on different metrics. And then LLM Comparator lets you review those side-by-side comparisons easily.
So instead of manually comparing models and going through tons of data, you can rely on these tools to get a clear picture of which model wins. Talk about efficiency.
Absolutely. It streamlines the whole process, helping you pick the best model for your needs and get better project results.
So you're saying these tools can actually help us make better decisions.
Yeah. Now, while we're talking about models, there's one we can't skip, Gemini 2.0. It's making waves with its multimodal capabilities, especially for extracting information from documents.
Which is a lifesaver for anyone who's ever struggled with PDFs.
Right. And one thing that I found interesting in the source material is this hybrid approach that combines the power of Gemini 2.0 with a rules engine for validation. Like, imagine using Gemini to extract data from invoices. It can pull out key information, but it might misinterpret something or miss a detail.
Because, after all, AI isn't perfect.
Exactly. And that's where the rules engine comes in. You set up specific rules to double-check the data and flag anything suspicious or incomplete. It's like a safety net for accuracy.
Combining the speed and efficiency of AI with the precision and logic of a rules-based system.
Yeah, that's the idea.
It's a pretty smart approach.
And speaking of smart approaches, there's Gemma 3. It's a family of lightweight, open-source AI models derived from Gemini 2.0, but designed for accessibility and easy deployment. You can even deploy it on Google Cloud Run for inference workloads.
Now, for those who aren't familiar with Cloud Run, it's basically a service that lets you run code without managing servers. It scales up and down automatically, so no more infrastructure headaches.
Right. And for those already using Vertex AI Model Garden, Gemma 3 is there too. They even have a guide for fine-tuning and deploying it as a production-ready endpoint. Gemma 3 is definitely becoming a key player in the GCP AI ecosystem, and its ease of use makes it more accessible.
Now, let's move on to something intense. The AI hypercomputer. This sounds pretty futuristic.
It's all about optimizing your whole computing stack for AI, from hardware and software to consumption models, boosting productivity and efficiency for AI workloads.
So what does that actually mean for someone using GCP? What can you do with it?
The guide highlights 4 specific use cases: reliable AI inference, large-scale AI training, affordable AI inference, and easy cluster setup and deployment. It's tailoring your AI infrastructure to your specific needs and budget.
Speaking of tailoring to needs, let's talk databases. There's a new spanner feature, Google's globally distributed database, called tiered storage.
It's like the storage classes in Google Cloud Storage. You know how you have different options for storing data based on how often you need it?
Right, like different shelves in a library. Some books are in high demand, while others are archival.
Exactly. Tiered storage lets you store less frequently accessed data on cheaper tiers, which is huge for managing large data sets, especially if you need to archive stuff. It's all about cost optimization without losing performance.
And for those of you working with Oracle workloads, there's good news. Oracle Database for Google Cloud now supports Terraform providers.
Which means deploying and managing Oracle databases on GCP just got easier.
Now let's talk AlloyDB. There's a new PostgreSQL extension called ScaNN, specifically for vector search.
Vector search is about finding similar items based on characteristics, like searching for images that look alike or documents with similar content.
So how does ScaNN improve that?
Well, it's built for massive data sets, millions to billions of vectors. It's much better than the pgvector HNSW extension, especially for data that can't fit in memory. So you can perform complex vector searches on larger data sets, opening up new possibilities for analysis and discovery.
It sounds like Google Cloud is really stepping up its database game, especially for handling large-scale data and AI workloads. And for those running mission-critical workloads on Cloud SQL, specifically the Enterprise Plus edition, there's a great resource on best practices for business continuity and minimizing downtime.
Two key takeaways: regional replicas and the high availability feature. Regional replicas give you a backup in another region, making sure your database is accessible even if your primary instance goes down. And the high availability feature keeps your database running even if there are hardware failures, building resilience and peace of mind into your database.
Now let's move on to DataStream, Google's changed data capture service. As a reminder, DataStream lets you replicate data from various sources into BigQuery and cloud storage.
And the big update is DataStream now supports Salesforce as a source. You can replicate data from your Salesforce CRM into BigQuery and cloud storage, opening up tons of possibilities for analysis and integration.
So you can combine your Salesforce data with other sources in BigQuery,
Exactly.
analyze customer behavior, track sales trends, and make better decisions.
The possibilities are endless. It shows Google Cloud's commitment to seamless integration with popular business apps like Salesforce.
Now, all this is amazing, but AI in databases can be expensive.
True, managing AI costs is complex, and there are often hidden costs.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine an e-commerce company that wants to deploy a customer support chatbot using a pre-trained language model. Sounds simple, right? But there's model serving, training, cloud hosting, data storage, and more.
So many things to think about. So how do we avoid these runaway costs?
There's a blog post called Taming Your Runaway AI Costs on Google Cloud that breaks down these costs. I highly recommend it because it helps you plan and manage your AI projects better, avoiding surprises and getting the most out of your budget.
Speaking of dangers, let's shift to identity and security.
The OWASP Top 10 API Security Threats reminds us of the vulnerabilities we need to be aware of with API security.
And Apigee, Google's API management platform, helps mitigate those threats, right?
Exactly. There's a paper that explains how to mitigate these threats using Google Cloud, specifically Apigee. It explains how Apigee can address risks like broken object level authorization, BOA, and broken function level authorization, BFLA.
To be clear, BOA is when someone accesses data they shouldn't, and BFL is when they get functionality they shouldn't, right?
Right. The paper breaks down each risk and how Apigee provides the tools to improve your API security.
So it's about having the right tools and strategies to deal with them. And speaking of threats, one that's been in the news is the potential impact of quantum computing on security.
Definitely something to watch. The concern is that quantum computers, with their huge processing power, could crack current encryption methods, leading to what's called harvest now, decrypt later attacks.
So are we just sitting ducks?
Not necessarily. Just like preparing for Y2K, there are things we can do to prepare for the security impact of quantum computing. One key area is post-quantum cryptography, or PQC.
PQC is developing new encryption that's resistant to attacks from both classical and quantum computers.
Exactly. Future-proofing our security. Google Cloud is already involved in PQC research and development, working to add quantum resistance to their products and services.
Good to know they're taking proactive steps to address this threat.
Yeah.
Now, back to the present. Security Command Center has new features in its AI protection suite.
They're designed to help you discover AI assets, implement security controls, and manage threats against your AI systems. One feature is Model Armor, which protects against prompt injection attacks.
Now, for those not familiar with prompt injection, imagine someone tricking a chatbot by feeding it malicious instructions hidden in a harmless request. That's prompt injection, and Model Armor is there to defend against it.
It's super important to have these safeguards because AI systems are getting more complex, making them targets for attackers.
And it's not just AI systems. Project Shield, the free service that protects websites from DDoS attacks, also has some big improvements.
The setup is simpler now, and it has advanced rate limiting and machine learning-based protection. making it easier to use and better at blocking attacks. A win for anyone worried about website security.
Now let's move on to containers and Kubernetes. Imagine you're managing a large Kubernetes cluster and something goes wrong. Logs everywhere, pods, deployments, services, nodes. It's overwhelming.
Trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Exactly. But there's a new tool called Kubernetes History Inspector that can help.
It shows a visual timeline of each component's state, so you can see how they were behaving and where things went wrong.
So rewind, fast forward, zoom in on specific times to find the root cause. A lifesaver for managing complex Kubernetes.
Powerful tool can save you a lot of time.
Speaking of frustration, integrating third-party security devices into cloud environments can be a pain.
The setup, routing, constant changes are a real nightmare. But Google Cloud has introduced network security integration to simplify it.
How does it make life easier?
It streamlines integrating third-party security solutions with pre-built integrations and standard configurations so you don't have to start from scratch every time.
Plug-and-play security for the cloud. And it offers two modes. Out-of-band for offline analysis and in-band for direct traffic inspection.
Choosing the best mode for your security architecture and needs, flexibility and simplifying complex tasks. And it's all based on GenIF tunneling, a protocol for flexible overlay networks.
It's impressive how Google Cloud keeps innovating and making complex things manageable.
Definitely committed to making the cloud easier and more accessible for everyone while keeping it secure. And that brings us to observability.
With so much going on the cloud, you need the right tools and insights to make sure everything runs smoothly. And Google Cloud is stepping up its game, especially for AI workloads.
Absolutely. AI models are complex, and it's tough to know why they behave a certain way. That's where observability tools for AI come in.
And what does Google Cloud offer?
For those using managed Gen AI models from Vertex AI Model Garden, there's a built-in observability dashboard. It gives you comprehensive insights into your model's performance, including usage, latency, error rates, capacity constraints, and even predicted costs.
Like a health check for your AI models.
You could say that. It's about making sure your AI is powerful, reliable, and efficient. It also lets you set alerts so you know immediately if something needs attention.
This is crucial for managing AI models in production, right?
It helps you troubleshoot quickly, optimize performance, and ensure your models are delivering. It's another example of how Google Cloud makes AI more accessible.
Now, before we move on, I want to revisit the AI hypercomputer. It sounds powerful, but is it for everyday developers and businesses or just the big players?
Depends on your needs. For a small startup just starting with AI, it might be too much. But for organizations with larger scale AI needs, like training massive models or complex inference tasks, the AI hypercomputer changes the game. It's about optimizing your whole infrastructure for AI.
So for those with big AI needs, it provides the power and efficiency to handle those challenges. And speaking of tackling challenges, Google Cloud is making it easier to learn about these technologies with Google Cloud Skills Boost.
It's a great platform with training courses, labs, and learning paths covering various GCP technologies.
And don't forget the free credits. Joining the Innovators program gets you 35 credits to use on Skills Boost. It's a fantastic way to explore different learning paths without spending any money.
Google Cloud is innovating in technology and in how we learn and adapt to this evolving cloud landscape.
Well, that was a deep dive into the first half of Roman Irani's Google Cloud Platform Technology Nuggets.
Lots covered, but there's more to explore. We'll continue in the next part of this deep dive.
Stay tuned. We've got more GCP coming your way.
As we continue our deep dive into Google Cloud Platform updates, it's fascinating how Google is combining AI and operations.
You mean that observability dashboard for those managed Gen AI models, right? It's like they're giving us X-ray vision into our AI.
Brilliant move. Think about it. You have these powerful AI models running in Vertex AI Model Garden, but without monitoring, it's like driving a high-performance car blindfolded.
That's a scary thought. So this dashboard is how we can keep our eyes on the road.
Exactly. The observability dashboard's like mission control. You can track usage, latency, error rates, even predict costs. And if something goes wrong, you get alerted right away. No more guessing.
Making sure our AI is not only powerful but reliable and running smoothly. Now, about that AI hypercomputer, is it practical for everyday developers and businesses or just the big players?
Great question. The AI hypercomputer optimizes your whole infrastructure for AI. For a small startup just playing with AI, it might be too much.
But for those with big AI needs, it could be a game changer.
Absolutely. If you're training big models or need to handle those complex inference tasks at scale, the AI hypercomputer is designed to make things run smoothly.
Like a dedicated superhighway for AI workloads, no bottlenecks.
Perfect analogy. It's the hardware, software, and consumption models you need to scale up.
Sounds like Google Cloud is making AI more accessible for everyone, from startups to enterprises. And speaking of accessible, let's not forget Google Cloud Skills Boost.
Fantastic resource to improve your cloud skills, beginner or pro. They have tons of courses, labs, learning paths for all kinds of GCP technologies.
And the free credits. You get 35 to use on Skills Boost if you join the Innovators Program, no financial risk.
Stay ahead of the curve, keep your skills sharp.
Now security, always top of mind in the cloud. Cyber attacks are getting so sophisticated. How's Google Cloud helping us stay ahead?
API security is a big focus. APIs are everywhere, connecting apps, sharing data, powering services online. But insecure APIs are a huge vulnerability.
So attackers could exploit them to steal data, disrupt services, or even take control of whole systems.
It's a real threat. That's why the OWASP Top 10 API security threats is important. It shows the most common vulnerabilities and how to fix them.
And Google Cloud offers solutions, right?
Of course. They have this paper explaining how Apigee, their API management platform, protects your APIs.
How exactly does Apigee help?
One big threat is broken object level authorization, BOA, where an attacker can access data they shouldn't because the API isn't enforcing authorization rules. Imagine someone getting into another user's account because of that.
A data breach waiting to happen.
Exactly. Apigee gives you control over API access, making sure only the right people can do certain things.
Like a security guard at the door, checking credentials.
Perfect. Apigee also addresses broken function level authorization, BFLA, where an attacker gets functionality they shouldn't, like changing user permissions or deleting data.
So they're not just looking around, they're taking control.
Yeah.
Even worse.
But Apigee enforces authorization policies at the function level, preventing that unauthorized access.
Sounds like Apigee is crucial for building secure APIs.
Absolutely essential for API security in the cloud.
Now, a threat that's further out, but everyone's talking about quantum computing. Still early days. But what about the security risks?
We need to be ready. Quantum computers are new, but they could break our encryption methods.
So what we have now might not be enough in the quantum era.
It's possible. That's why post-quantum cryptography, PQC, is so important.
Developing new encryption that works against both classical and quantum computers.
Future-proofing. Google Cloud is already doing PQC research and development, adding quantum resistance to their stuff.
They're taking it seriously then.
Oh, yeah?
Now managing complex cloud environments. Troubleshooting can be a real headache, especially in systems where the problem's root cause is hard to find. And Kubernetes, with its microservices and containers, adds another layer.
It's like searching for a needle in a haystack when trying to find a bug in Kubernetes. You're looking at logs from pods, deployments, everything.
But there's this new tool, Kubernetes History Inspector. Is it as good as it sounds?
Pretty awesome. It's like a time machine for Kubernetes. It gives you a visual timeline of every component so you can see how they were behaving and exactly when things went wrong.
So rewind, fast forward, zoom in to find the root cause. Powerful.
Takes the guesswork out, helps you fix things quickly.
And it works with GKE and cloud logging, right?
Seamless integration with your GCP environment.
Must have for complex Kubernetes.
Saves a lot of trouble.
Another pain point, integrating third-party security devices. The setup, the routing,
Like fitting a square peg in a round hole. But Google Cloud introduced network security integration to help.
And how does it do that?
Streamlines connecting those third-party solutions. It has pre-built integrations and standard configurations, so no more starting from scratch.
Plug-and-play security for the cloud. And it has two modes, out-of-band and in-band.
You choose what's best for your setup. Flexibility and simplicity, all based on Gen tunneling for those flexible overlay networks.
Google Cloud is all about making things easier, more flexible, and secure.
They get it. They're innovating to give us the best cloud experience.
Which leads to observability. With so much going on in the cloud, you need the right tools and insights to keep things running.
It's crucial for any cloud environment, especially AI, which can be tricky. It's hard to understand why an AI model is doing what it's doing.
So we need special tools to peek under the hood.
Exactly. And Google Cloud delivers. If you're using those managed Gen AI models from Vertex AI Model Garden, there's a built-in observability dashboard that gives you a complete picture of your model's performance. You can track usage, latency, errors, capacity, even predict costs.
A checkup for your AI models.
That's it. It's about making sure they're powerful, reliable, and efficient. And you can set alerts to be notified right away if something's up.
Super important for managing AI models in production.
Helps you troubleshoot, optimize, and make sure everything's working right. Another way Google Cloud is making AI more accessible.
Before we move to the last part, let's talk about the AI hypercomputer again. It's great for large-scale needs, but can you give us a real-world example?
Sure. Imagine a research group developing new medical treatments using AI. They need to train huge models on massive data sets of medical images and genetic info. That takes a lot of computing power.
I bet.
But the AI hypercomputer can handle it. It provides the hardware, software, and everything needed to train those models efficiently.
A supercharged research lab for AI, pushing the boundaries.
Exactly. It's not just speed or cost. It's about new possibilities and faster innovation in healthcare, science, and more.
It's amazing how Google Cloud is making these powerful technologies available to everyone.
They want to democratize AI and make it a force for good.
Well, we've covered a lot in this second part. API security, quantum computing, Kubernetes troubleshooting, and the AI hypercomputer. Google Cloud is clearly innovating.
There's more, but I think our listeners have a good idea of what's happening in GCP.
In the final part, we'll wrap up with some thoughts from our expert and key takeaways. Stay tuned. We're not done yet. And we're back for the final part of our Google Cloud Platform deep dive. From infrastructure and AI to security and even a peek into the quantum future, we've been through a lot.
It's been quite the journey through the latest and greatest in GCP.
I'm feeling pretty energized by all this innovation. Google Cloud is really pushing things forward.
It's an exciting time to be working with this tech. The pace of change is so fast, it feels like we're entering a whole new era of cloud computing, all driven by AI and ML.
But with great power comes great responsibility, right? We can't just focus on the tech without thinking about the bigger picture.
You're right. We talked about managing AI costs, but there's something else: the responsible use of AI. As these models become more powerful and widespread, we have to think about how they affect society.
It's not just what we can do with AI, but what we should do.
Exactly. We need to make sure AI is developed and used ethically, considering things like bias, fairness, and transparency.
And that's a conversation that needs to involve everyone, not just us techies.
It's a shared responsibility to make AI a force for good.
Well said. As we keep exploring and using these powerful tools, we need to keep those ethical points in mind.
And that's what makes this deep dive so important. It's not just the technical details, it's about understanding the bigger picture and making smart decisions about how we use this technology.
Being responsible with innovation.
Exactly.
Well, it's time to wrap up our Google Cloud Platform deep dive. New regions, database features, AI advancements, security improvements, we've seen it all.
We even talked about quantum computing and responsible AI.
If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, that's okay. There's always something new to learn with Google Cloud.
That's the exciting part. The cloud is always changing, keeping things interesting and challenging.
So what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
Stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to experiment. The cloud is a huge opportunity for innovation, and you can achieve anything.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this Google Cloud Platform deep dive. We hope you found it useful and inspiring.
Until next time, keep exploring the cloud. The future is ours to create.